What's going on, everybody? This is Paul Adkins again, Vice President of Strategic Partnerships here at Best Roofer Marketing, and I wanted to stop in today and give you a few tips when it comes to door knocking. The first tip I can give you is when you're going out to do some door knocking, figure out right before you're about to knock a door if you're in a neighborhood where you feel like the roof could get paid for through an insurance payout, or if this is something that's going to come down to a retail quote. That's much better for you whenever you approach the door, and it leads to a much more successful route as far as knocking the door and getting on the roof. Whenever you do knock the door, give them some space, back up a little bit, let them breathe. When I first started in this industry, I would only stand about 2 or 3 feet away from the door, and I noticed there was a lot of times that homeowners were talking to me through windows, glass front doors, or just cracking the door just enough to pop their head out and tell me that they were good, or to talk to me about whatever it is that I needed. Occasionally I would get somebody outside, but I really increased my chances of getting on those roofs once I realized that if I stepped back a little bit, not only did they need to come outside to actually talk to me because I couldn't hear them through the door or the window or the glass, but they felt safer in doing so. Some of these homeowners are home by themselves, some of them have children at the home, and those types of factors really go into play. Not only that, but I'm 6'2" and I'm a bald guy. So sometimes just simple aesthetics are things that people are trying to judge on the spot whether or not they can trust you. Ultimately, you want to get them outside so that you can have a conversation with them. When and if you do get them outside and you engage in that conversation with them, before you ever get to the door, you should notice something that you can talk to them about before you go into roofing. I have a roof here on my hat, and most of the time I have a roof on my shirt, so they know why I'm here. If I notice damage from the road, there's a great likelihood that there's another roofing company that stopped in to notice damage from the road as well. They probably know why you're there. So if you talk to them about the sports team that's affiliated with the flag hanging out front, or a sticker on the back of their car that you might be able to relate to, or even a particular garden you see that you think's beautiful and you can compliment, or a particular type of tree in the yard that you have at your house that you can say, hey, this is a really beautiful tree. Things like that get people talking about themselves before you ever have to talk about you, and that can go a really long way. Now, when it comes to knocking doors and nobody coming to the door, I'm sure that what you're typically accustomed to is sticking that door in the door jamb, the business card in the door jamb there, or you're used to leaving a door hanger. Both of these are great, but they don't lead to a lot of callbacks. That business card typically gets put in a pile or in the trash, and the door hanger almost always goes in the trash. So they can be wasted resources. One thing you can do for much cheaper is take about 10 minutes of your time to get on your computer and print out something that really allows you to point out what you noticed without having ever spoken to them. So what mine would look like is it would introduce who I am, who I work with, and what exactly our goals were. It would give all my contact information. And then below that on the piece of paper, it would list out the different types of damage I may have potentially noticed from the road. And I would go in and check a box if I thought I saw windproof shingles or if I thought I saw hail. And then finally at the bottom, there's a notes section. The notes section's for times whenever you're in a neighborhood and nearly everyone that you've actually done an inspection for has damage, but you knock this door and the homeowner's not home. It just allows you to say, hey, I worked with Miss Smith next door and Mr. Tom 3 doors down, and both of those roofs are in a really good spot to get paid for by the insurance company right now based off of hail. We noticed hail hits on their roof, and we noticed hail hits and collateral damage on their soft metals, and we would love to see if we can help you in the same way. But with all of that said, if you talk to a homeowner before you ever step foot on their roof, you need to 110% make sure that you're dealing with somebody that has an insurance company that can potentially buy this roof. For me here in Georgia, there's a few insurance companies that we know are never going to pay for a roof, and we don't want to end up having somebody file a claim for something that's not going to be bought. That's just really not how we want to do business, because at the end of the day, whether I do this person's roof now or I do it in 6 months or a year, that's going to help me in the month that I do it. So if I know that they're with an insurance company that's not going to pay for it, why would I ever get on a roof, waste my time, potentially get hurt, and create a video and everything else that goes into my process only to get down and find out that they're with an insurance company that's not going to take care of them? That's a waste of my time ultimately, and that's a waste of their time as the homeowner. Guys, we hope this has been useful for you. Please stop in more and more often to see what else we've really put out there. We hope you're having a blessed day, and we appreciate you stopping by.